It may be all about vampires, but it certainly doesn't suck. Hi everyone, I'm Jacob, I'm the CowHatLibrarian, and I thought this one looked interesting at my local library. It is How Not to Be a Vampire Slayer by Katy Birchall. As the story starts, our heroine Maggie moves to a new small town with her parents. They're tired of the big city and think a small town might be a better place to go. They're dentists who are going to be working in a practice in town there. They badly needed dentists. And so Maggie tags along with them. This town is famous for having the skeleton woods, creepy haunted woods that no one in town is allowed to go into. And her family's home that they inherited from a great uncle of sorts is right near the edge of the woods. And Maggie learns more about the woods and that they're supposed to be haunted, that there's supposed to be a castle with vampires in it. She learns this from her new friends and doing some of her own reading. And she discovers a few weird things about their house, like the fact that it's filled with mirrors in every single room, and that their ancestor who owned it previously had planted garlic, lots of it, everywhere, surrounding the entire house. Now, her parents are thrilled. That means they can make garlic soup, garlic stew, garlic bread, and it's wonderful. It all seems a little odd. Maggie makes new friends in school, and they decide that they are going to check out Skeleton Woods to see for real whether there is a castle there or not. And so the three of them head out, ostensibly to do bike tricks, and they creep into the woods. And Maggie's friends have to turn around. They can't head in any further. They're scared, they're frightened, they have to turn around. But whatever it is doesn't affect her the same way. She keeps going in and goes in further and further until she sees it. A castle. She heads inside and ends up meeting a young vampire about her age named Sharptooth. Luckily, Sharptooth is a vegetarian and she's friendly. And she's quite happy to tell Maggie all about the vampire world and things she needs to watch out for, and her role as the chosen leader to be a vampire who will lead them in the future. And they get to be friends over the course of things. Maggie shares music with Sharptooth, something she's never had before. Maggie shares ketchup with her, which is an amazing discovery for Sharptooth because she's been living on beet juice and is quite happy to have something that's a replacement that still isn't human blood. And they get to be good friends. But when Maggie introduces Sharptooth to her friends and proves that she's a vampire, stuff starts going wrong. Their plan to get together for Halloween ends up causing all sorts of problems as her parents try to serve garlic bread to the group of kids, including Sharptooth. And eventually things come to a head. People realize that there are, in fact, vampires in Skeleton Woods. And the vampires know that the humans realize this and are getting ready to attack. This was pretty good. If you like stories like The Donut Fix, where a boy's family moves to a small town so they can start a new life and start a restaurant, and the boy goes off on a quest to learn something legendary about the town, in that case a legendary donut recipe, you'll find a lot to like here. If you liked The Dollar Kids, that was a similar idea about kids heading to a town and parents heading there for a better opportunity for them and the kids just trying to find something good out of the mess, you might find something to like here. If you were a fan of things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and you'd like to get the younger generation into that sort of story, this might be a good one to recommend to them. Now, with that said, it definitely was not perfect. There are spoilers ahead, because I have to talk about the deal breakers. First off, late in the story, there's something that's a revelation to Maggie, that she is descended from a line of vampire slayers, and that she will be taking up the burden of being the town's protector by living in that house. And that's fine, and it's a surprise to Maggie. However, by that point, it's not the tiniest surprise for the reader. The book's title is How Not to Be a Vampire Slayer. Who else would be the vampire slayer in this book? If they'd named it Friends with a Vampire, or The Vampire Forest, or something like that, there would have been that tiny bit of mystery and made it sort of a surprise to the reader, possibly. But there was no chance of this. How Not to Be a Vampire Slayer. I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting until Maggie finally sort of had it dumped on her. Second, the front of this book is slow going. I saw the cover, I saw the title, I was excited, and it takes forever to get to Maggie meeting Sharptooth. And that's where the story picks up. I can't speak for the author or the editor, but if I'd been involved with this book, I would have been sorely tempted to cut a lot of the preliminary stuff, because it sets things up okay for the town and Maggie's relationship with her new friends. A lot of that stuff ends up sort of going to the back burner later on. I think it could have used some more editing, to be honest. Now, what I will say, I liked the confrontation between the vampires and the humans. I liked the evil mayor Cauliflower, who everyone mispronounces as cauliflower, who's obsessed with getting rid of the woods to build a deluxe golf course for himself, and who uses this vampire threat as rationale for doing it. I liked the idea of the vampire school. I thought it was funny that Sharptooth had to go to cape flourishing class and so on, and had to learn how to drink from someone without spilling blood unseemingly, making sure to do it in a way that's scary, not looking like you spilled soup. That was a lot of fun too, and I'd love to read more about that school. But it fell a little flat. Maggie learns she's the heir to this vampire slayer legacy, and that's why they can't smell her. But not a lot really happens with it, other than her realizing that, yes, this is her legacy, and finding a stake. I liked it. I give it a soft recommendation. I think there's stuff to have fun with here. It's just, it feels like it could have used another pass by the author and the editor. Sorry, Katy Birchall. If I see another one written by Katy, though, I will give it a try, because this was solid. I liked it. You can borrow it from your public library. While I'm on that topic, if you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library, why not take just 1 minute and tell the powers that be exactly that? Tell your mayor, tell a council member, tell your MP or MLA that you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library. We're at a time where some public libraries are having trouble finding sustainable funding to continue improving their materials, programs, and services. A few good words in the writers might make a world of difference. If, by some chance, you're a library staff member, don't forget, watching my videos counts as professional development time. With that, thanks for listening to me talk all about this one. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back to see what else I have to talk about from the CowHat Library. Thank you. Bye now.